This is really gonna bust up some fucking people, and they're just gonna be, the tears are gonna flow.
I don't care what anybody says.
Go on, lay it on me, roast me.
I'm more of a positive guy.
Yeah, I have an unpopular opinion here.
Height.
One hot take that will definitely send people after me to revoke my metal card.
It's other shit.
Her er bare en gang bunke lort.
I mean, fucking hell.
Stop that bullshit.
This one I like.
Kiss is like for 7 or 9 years old.
It's an opinion. We all have them. We all like different things.
If you still can't take it, you know what we say at the Merciful Metal channel. Bye.
Welcome to the 5th Hot Takes and Unpopular Opinions video. In these videos, we look at your hot takes and unpopular opinions. We have a bit of fun with them while sticking it to the people who think they can control your thoughts, because that's a load of garbage. Now let's get cracking. First, we have a bunch of takes from, and I'm sorry for mispronouncing this handle, King, who opted to not participate in the contest but still wanted to share some opinions with us, and that's perfectly fine by me. Corsair writes, not exactly hot takes, but some opinions where I seem to be in the minority, all of them positive because it's not much fun listing acclaimed bands and albums that I don't like. I appreciate that approach, actually. Why be so negative all the time? Why not look at things in a positive light every now and then? So that's what we will do here. The first take is, the rare times I've heard recent songs use a fade out, it's been done creatively, and it's time that we stop stigmatizing this way of ending songs because of its past overuse. This is interesting because I haven't thought about fade outs in like forever, but I do remember that it was the norm in radio friendly music, at least back in the 80s, to fade out songs, and this probably had to do with, I don't know, radio play and things like that. And I have to admit that fade outs always annoyed me back then because I felt cheated. Because I wanted to hear the music that was getting faded out. So I'm probably one of those people that don't like fade outs, but I can definitely see how fade outs can be done creatively. Like, you can do a fake out fade out. You can use fade outs as transitions between movements in the same composition. You can, I guess, fade out a song and then pan back and forth between the left and right channels. That would be pretty cool. Or you can fade out parts of the song or fade out individual channels in the mix, like maybe one by one or something. That could be pretty cool too. So yeah, there are lots of ways you can use fade outs artistically. I've never really considered this, but this is something that I will pay attention to now. So thanks for mentioning that. The next take is that Senjutsu was not only Iron Maiden's best album since Seventh Son, it's the best traditional metal album of the 21st century. I partially agree on this actually because I've always liked Senjutsu since it came out. A lot of people dislike it. They think it's too long and the songs are too long and it's too boring. The songs are too plotty, and the band lean too much into their aggressive influences and so on and so forth. I like this album. I've always liked it. I like long songs if they have things in it that appeal to me. And it just so happens that a lot of the songs in this album have a lot of Iron Maiden trademark things that I like. So I think this is a great album. It's not my favorite album since Seventh Son of a Seventh Son, though. I like Brave New World better. I like A Matter of Life and Death better. I like Dance of Death better. And I like No Prayer for the Dying better, too. I like it as much as The Book of Souls and The Final Frontier and The X Factor. And I like it much better than Virtual 11. And I like it better than Fear of the Dark. So that's why I partially agree on this. I have noticed more people appreciating Senjutsu now, so seems that people are kind of warming up to it. Regarding the best traditional metal album of the 21st century, I don't know. I haven't even started to think about what album I would hold up in that position, so I don't know. I think it's great that there are people who like Senjutsu so much that they hold it up as one of the best albums of, in this case, the 21st century, at least in traditional metal. I think that's great. Okay, the next take is this. The top prog metal band is Haken. The top extreme metal band is Neobliviscaris. And the top symphonic metal band is Cellar Darling. I don't know what bands I would put in these positions, to be honest. I don't really like symphonic metal. Um, I'm starting to learn how to appreciate Japanese symphonic metal, though, because it's so over the top, and I like that for some reason. I don't know if Cellar Darling, if that's a Japanese band, let me know if it is. I can imagine that if I end up having a top uh, symphonic metal band, it would probably be a Japanese one. I think my top extreme metal band would probably be Death, because that's my favorite death metal band, and it's one of my favorite bands too. Um, I don't know what my top prog metal band is. I definitely think Haken is a fantastic band, and I think they deserve more attention among the prog metal fans than they get. But yeah, I like Haken. I like Fate's Warning. I like Anubis Gate. I like Vigilante, Psychotic Waltz, early Queensryche and recent Queensryche as well. This is a bit of a more obscure band, but I also like Eidetic quite a lot. There's a lot of tech prog death metal I like, and avant-garde metal. I do like Dream Theater too. They are probably the top prog metal band when it comes to fame. So a lot of people have a lot of strong opinions on Dream Theater, especially the output they put out while Mike Mangini was in the band, and especially the Astonishing, which is a very unpopular album. But guess what? Rusty Darlington actually quite likes that album. See what he has to say about it.
In my opinion, Dream Theater is Astonishing. You know that album that everybody hates? The big monster box of 2112 that gets dragged out for 4 weeks? In my opinion, this is a top 5 Dream Theater album. I'm sorry, it fucking is, okay? It just is. If you're like me, and you love long songs, right? Octavarium, 6 Degrees, Count of Tuscany, not just Dream Theater long songs, but long songs in general, like Symphony X's The Odyssey, Rush's 2112, prime example. You know, if you love long songs and storytelling as much as I do, I can't understand why you don't enjoy this album. It's more of an experience than an album to listen to. Do you know what I mean? Like, I like Judas Priest's Nostradamus as well, so just let that sit with you. Ever since I first heard this album, I remember when I first heard it, and I was like excited, and I won't say blown away, but I was moved. Moved would be a better word, because songs like, well, for starters, The Gift of Music, I thought was a cool little single. I was like, this is fun, you know, it's catchy enough. There's a bit of a shreddy solo in it, like, you know, it's good. That you get into like the deeper cuts of this album, and like, yes, it's long, but I've got no problem with it being that long. Like The Answer and A Better Life. There's a lot of 90-second, 2-minute-y fill-in type songs. But in order for the story to flow, you need those kinds of songs, as you do with the Nostradamus album. A Savior in the Square, that beautiful, beautiful little guitar figure at the start. I think that's so nice. When Your Time Has Come, the part that flows after it, that's beautiful as well. Brother, Can You Hear Me? It's anthematic power ballads. It just moves me. I love this album so much. I really, really, really love side 1. And when I say side 1, I mean act 1, like the whole thing, up until Road to Revolution, the X aspect, a tempting offer. There's little nuances and bits and pieces throughout every song that make me go, I like that. Whether it's a vocal phrase or a little 3-note melody, There's something in every song for me that makes me go, this is good. A Life Left Behind, the chorus, and that is great. Chosen is cool. Raven's Skill is eerie, and it's, oh, just stop it. And then side 2, just act 2. Moment of Betrayal is a great song. The Hymn of 1,000 Voices, just powerful, powerful stuff. And then the way it ends, Our New World, that's a great song too. I love how it emulates Our New World is like a much heavier version of Savouring the Square. It's the same riff instead of it cleanly picked, but it's like done on power chords now. Just things like that. It's a moving album. It's a story. It's a movie. Yes, I love it.
I have to admit, I've never heard The Astonishing. And this has nothing to do with popular opinion. This has to do with me kind of slowly losing interest in Dream Theater after Mike Portnoy left. This is nothing against Mike Mangini because he's just as good a drummer as Mike Portnoy is. But when I would go and see them live, there was like a presence missing. Like there was an entire dimension missing. And the same thing kind of characterized the albums that Mike Portnoy didn't play on, because I think it was his contributions that kind of made that or constituted that missing dimension. So my interest in Dream Theater kind of waned, and at the same time there were other progressive metal bands that I wanted to check out. So I haven't heard The Astonishing, but the way Rusty Darlington describes it definitely makes me want to go and give it a listen. So thanks for that. Now back to Forse. The fourth take here is the best metal bassist and the best metal guitarist are in the same band. Asterism. I don't know who I think would be the best metal bassist or the best metal guitarist, because I don't know what the parameters would be. You know, is it the technical proficiency on the instrument? Is it the feel, the vibes? Is it the songwriting abilities? Is it the overall contribution to the band, like kind of like holistically? When it comes to the guitar, is it the ability to play cool solos and shred and stuff? Or does the ability to play solid rhythm guitar also matter? I don't know. I can definitely see why uh, a lot of people, or in this case, because it's a minority opinion, so not a lot of people, but I can see why people would have musicians from Asterism as the best musicians on their instruments, because the musicianship in that band is just crazy high. Um, but I don't know. I don't know who the best metal guitarist is. My favorite guitarist is Adrian Smith, because I like his solos. I think they are memorable and catchy and melodic when they need to be, and they can be shreddy when they need to be. And he puts a lot of thought into his solos. And I also like him a lot as a songwriter. Closely following him is Angus Young from AC/DC. Very different type of guitar player. But there's so many great guitarists out there. I don't know who would be the best one. The same thing with the best bassist. I have a soft spot for Steve Harris and Geddy Lee. I think Misa is fantastic, but again, I don't know who the best bassist or best metal or hard rock bassist would be. Uh, but I can definitely see again why, you know, why you would find them in Asterism, because that's a great band. Okay, the next take might be a little bit strange to people who are not into J-Rock, and they might go, why is that? Minority opinion. It's this one here. There are some excellent all-male Japanese rock and metal bands. Now, if you're into J-Rock and J-Metal, you will probably know that over the last 15 years, if not more, there's been this kind of movement on the Japanese rock scene where you just have like tons of super talented, skilled, and hardworking musicians who are ladies, and you have a lot of bands just consisting of ladies only, or mixed bands too. and they're just great musicians and songwriters and hardworking and fantastic. Uh, so they are kind of overshadowing the bands that are all dudes. And yeah, this is a bit of a shame because a lot of these bands that are all dudes, they're also great. There's a whole slew of Visual K bands. They tend to be all guys. And whether you like Visual K or not, I'm slowly learning to appreciate it. But whether you like Visual K or not, there's no denying that those guys are great musicians too. And of course, if you go back to the 80s, where the metal scene was a bit more of a sausage fest than it is now, there were lots of great bands back then too, and some of them are still active today, and some of them are reactivating, like Sekimatsu, or kind of getting back into things now. And I think Bow Wow, I think they're still active. I think X Japan, I think they're still active too. Of course, you have a lot of more undergroundy bands um, and extreme metal bands, and of course, you have Metal Lucifer, super fun band. Now, when we talk Japanese metal, I guess we have to address the elephant in the room, baby metal. Check out what Mark from the Wandering Souls web scene has to say about baby metal.
Baby metal is a metal band. So, there it is. Then people start, what? They're fucking idol. Yeah, I know they started as an idol group. Don't start there. Sakura Gakken, there's where they came from. You know, bands evolve. I don't want to say per se this is a band. It's definitely dance and sing group, but they supported by the Kami band, and to me that is a metal band. Fantastic musicians. The music-wise, it sounds metal, and there's a lot of things to it, and that it makes it sounding like metal. The guitar work, the heaviness. There is some screaming now and then, you get some growling things. But the girls just top it off with some great entertainment here, just with great dancing and great vocals. What's wrong with that? If people are dancing on the stage to metal music, that's nothing weird or something, it's just something different. And to me, the music is definitely metal, so for me, baby metal is a metal band. It's not a band. Who cares? If it sounds metal, then it's metal. What's the problem? I don't understand why people are always bashing idol groups. There are more idol groups that sound metal. They are not metal. Well, a band like Satanic Punish is definitely sounding metal. Trust me. Anyways, baby metal. It's a band that I really like, and Suzuka's vocals, Su Metal, is outstanding. She's a great vocalist, and the music is great. This is my favorite album from the band, Metal Resistance, the second album from 2016, somewhere, 15, 16, and that vein. Fantastic album. Love the first one as well. My third favorite probably will be the last one they released. The other one, I think, and then you have the third album, Metal Galaxy, is my least favorite. Not that it's a bad album, but I have to make a choice. But this is great. It has great songs in it. But yeah, unpopular opinion, baby metal is metal. Metal, baby metal, Cobra metal, Shoe metal, Moa metal, Yui metal. Damn it.
You know what? I agree. To me, baby metal, it's metal. Yes, they have a lot of pop and electronica elements to their music. And yes, they sparked off an entire genre called kawaii metal. And yes, that genre kind of flies in the face of, the tough guy illusion that we have about ourselves as metal people. So maybe that's why a lot of people don't want to see them as metal. I don't know. Baby metal, for some reason, they just make a lot of people angry. I don't think that's their intention. I think they just wanted to entertain people while having a successful career. But a lot of true metal purist gatekeepers, they are so angry and upset that baby metal exists. And a lot of baby metal fans, they get really angry and upset if you don't like baby metal. And I'm thinking, the metal purists, why don't you just ignore baby metal? and spend those 5 minutes that you waste on writing an angry comment somewhere, spend them on listening to a Slayer song or Dark Throne song or an Obituary song or an Iron Maiden song or a Judas Priest song or whatever. That's a win-win situation. And the Kitsune, the baby metal fans, just ignore the people who don't like baby metal. Instead of wasting 5 minutes writing an angry comment uh, on someone who doesn't like baby metal, why don't you spend those 5 minutes listening to Papaya or Mikitsune or whatever your favorite baby metal song might be? Win-win. Um, so I agree with Mark. Baby metal is metal. And I actually quite like baby metal. I like 2/3 of all the baby metal songs I've heard. I am a big fan of Suzuka. I think she has a great, unique voice, and she's a really, really good singer. Uh, I also think they have 4 full-length albums and a 5th one on the way. My favorite baby metal albums are the 2 first ones, especially the second one. That one has a lot of fantastic songs on it. The third one, I don't like that much, but I think the last 5 songs are awesome. And the fourth one, the other one, is interesting because it's a metalcore album, but because you have Suzuka singing instead of some random, typical metalcore vocalist, I think that's actually a great album too. So yeah, I like baby metal. I think they are a metal act. I do have one opinion that will probably be hated by everyone, and that is that I kind of don't like the song they did with Poppy, From Me to You. So just the fact that I don't like a baby metal song, of course, that's an unpopular opinion among the Kitsune. The reason why I don't like it, there are 2 reasons. One reason is that I don't like Poppy's vocals. For some reason, I just find her screaming really annoying. So that's, of course, unpopular among Poppy fans. The other reason why I don't like it is that I would have preferred, instead of Poppy even being in the song, there would be more space for Suzuka's vocals. And maybe Momo as well. Maybe she could sing one verse. I don't know about Moa because she doesn't like doing lead vocals. She can sing, so I don't see the problem there. But so of course that makes me seem like a baby metal fanatic and purist. So that's a hated opinion among the metal purists. So yeah, there you go. But at the end of the day, yes, I agree with Mark from the Wandering Souls web scene channel. And back to Kikorse, whose last take kind of surprised me. Creep is one of Radiohead's best songs. And this surprised me because I did not know that you were supposed to dislike Creep. Because I remember back in the 90s, I think it was, that it was a big hit and everybody in my school liked it. So I'm really surprised that it's supposed to be a song you don't like. But maybe it's because Radiohead kind of changed and they're more like an arty band and a progressive kind of band now, and not so much kind of your 90s emo feel sorry for myself kind of band. I don't know. This was a bit of a shock to me, but thanks for no less than 6 takes there, Corse. Thank you very much. Let's move on to Metal Mickey. Now, Metal Mickey is the King of Keswick, first of all, and that means that he's never been shy or afraid to just make his honest opinions known, no matter whether they are popular or unpopular. So he has he has 3 opinions that he wants to share with us here. So let's have a look at them. So firstly, he says guitar solos for the most part are boring and spoil the song. Now, this obviously is not a popular opinion because I think most metal fans like a good guitar solo. I guess except for maybe new metal fans, because they didn't really use guitar solos in that genre. Now, as you can imagine, uh, Mr. Guitar, Josh Keach, strongly disagrees with this. Check this out.
A lot of people, when they talk about music, they always talk about the vocals, they always talk about the lyrics. I never ever thought that the lyrics and the vocals was the most important thing in music, to be honest. And I don't, and I never have, and I don't think I ever will. I mean, yes, granted, vocalists, you know, they're up and down. You either like a vocalist or you don't, and, you know, vocals can be important to songs. But I've never read a lyric sheet and wanted to learn all the lyrics from each song. I've never been too encapsulated by a vocalist. For me, it's all about the music, the guitar riffs, the guitar solos, the drumming, the bass playing, you know, what actually physically makes the music. And that's something that I've always I've never liked pop music, because it's always been all about the vocalist when they've not even written the blooming song. And that's why I hate pop music. Just for an example, this is one of my favourite albums of all time, and there is not a single lyric on it. The music is just absolutely unbelievable, and that for me is what the most important thing is in music. It's what the music actually sounds like, what the riffs are, the instrumentation, the guitar solos. You know, I saw some people say about guitar solos are boring or, you know, take away from the music. I think that's a load of absolute horse shit. For me, the guitar solos have always been what encapsulates the song, and has been the most important thing, to just listen to guitar players do their thing, show how great they are. It's just wonderful. And this is another one, not a single lyric on this album, and it is an excellent album. And also, this is another great instrumental album, even though I think 2 of the songs on here have vocals, but this is a brilliant instrumental album by Marty Friedman.
So I have to say that I think everybody expected this. I side with Josh on this one, because I do like a good guitar solo. I just mentioned earlier that I really like Adrian Smith's guitar solos because he puts a lot of thought into them. They're catchy and melodic and memorable, but can also be flashy when needed. I like a good guitar solo, but I do think that the guitar solo has to serve the song and not seem like something that's there just because it has to be there. Uh, so I like a good guitar solo. If it's just mindless shredding, I tend to kind of tune out, to be honest. But if it's catchy, or if it's melodic or bluesy, if it has a lot of feel to it, or if it is shreddy, but not mindlessly shreddy, if you know what I mean, I like that too. My favorite guitar solo of all time is the first guitar solo in Judas Priest's Painkiller. That's even kind of a long, almost like self-indulgent guitar solo, but it has so many things going on, and it also kind of shreds for a bit, and then it has a lot of just like melodic hooks in it and interesting things going on. So that kind of guitar solo I like. I do really like guitar solos, but like I said, if it seems imposed or just mindlessly shreddy, I tend to tune out and just wait for the guitar solo to end. Um, Now, I do know that if you listen to music, not so much for the, shall we say, prowess of the musicians, but maybe for other things like the lyrics or the whole picture of the song, maybe the guitar solo can be a distraction. I do know that Konami from Bandmate, um, at some point, there were some people who were fans of Bandmate that they complained that the songs had guitar solos. And Konami went out and said, I'm very sorry, but I plan to keep playing guitar solos because I actually like playing guitar solos. And I think her solos are great because they're short and she's a very good guitarist and they actually serve the songs. But a lot of those fans, I think, probably came from a pop music background. They were more used to pop music, where there's more attention to the lyrics and all that stuff. And you typically don't have solos. So if you listen to music for other reasons than just the instrumentality, uh, is that even a word? The skills of the instrumentalists, I can see why guitar solos can be actually kind of boring. Like I said, I like a good guitar solo, so um, I disagree with Metal Mickey on this one, but I can see where he comes from, I think. So cool, thanks for this. Next, Metal Mickey says, modern pop music still has great singers and lyrics. Modern metal, not so much. Although the instrument abilities have risen hugely, and maybe that's why we have so many mindlessly shredded guitar solos. I don't know. Anyways, um, I think whether you like pop music or not, there's no denying that, first of all, yes, there are a lot of pop singers who are not as good as they sound because of studio technology and auto tuning and all that stuff. But by the same token, there are lots of just amazing singers in pop music because part of the package is probably that they have vocal coaches and they get training and so on and so forth. I mean, I'm not really interested in Lady Gaga at all, but there's no denying that she's a fantastic singer. No denying that. Just to pick one example. And when it comes to the lyrics, I think Metal Mickey actually raises an important point because I think the stereotype is that pop music lyrics are just dumb, simple lyrics about romantic relationships or the lack thereof. And there is a lot of that going on, and that is not interesting to me either. But there are also a lot of pop artists that sing about other things, like very compelling personal experiences uh, with political messages and just like some clever poetry and all that stuff. And there are also a lot of these just straight up pop songs about romantic relationships that have like clever wordplay and stuff. So I can definitely see, whether we like pop music or not, there's no denying that there's a lot of talent there. There are a lot of hacks and a lot of bad stuff going on, but there is a lot of talent in pop music too. Okay, so when it comes to modern metal, that's a little bit difficult for me to say because you have so many different branches of modern metal. I think in power metal and traditional metal, there are lots of great singers, just a lot of them sound the same, I think. Um, so there I actually think there are a lot of really good singers in modern metal, but there's not a whole lot of variation. And I don't know, when it comes to harsh vocals, a lot of them sound the same too, but you also have some very unique uh, vocalists there. So yeah, this one is a little bit hard for me to agree on because I think there are a lot of good singers in metal, but I think maybe the problem is the variety, perhaps. Um, I think it's true that the instrument abilities have risen hugely. You have like mediocre guitarists today who can play around in circles around the shredders of the 80s. Is that an expression? But I guess you know what I mean. So there you go. I agree with Metal Mickey that there's no denying that, yes, great singers and lyrics in pop music, whether you like it or not. Okay, so the last take is this one. Metallica never were as thrashy as we thought at the time. So this is probably a bit of a very hot take to a lot of people because didn't Metallica invent thrash metal? They kind of kind of did and kind of didn't. I think they were part of a movement. You know, a lot of younger metal bands who wanted to play a little bit faster and liked both traditional metal and hardcore punk and wanted to fuse those. And so I think Metallica, yes, they were part of inventing thrash metal, but they didn't invent it alone. And whether or not they were thrashy, I mean, if you listen to Kill 'Em All, it's true. There are a lot of like not super fast songs on there. There are some really fast songs, but there are a lot of songs that are just like mid-tempo and don't sound that thrashy. But to me, I think it still is a thrash metal album. They do sound different from a lot of the other thrash metal bands that would, you know, explode onto the scene a couple of years later for sure. Um, when it comes to Ride the Lightning, I think that's an all-out thrash metal album, and this is interesting because a lot of people say Metallica stopped playing thrash metal on Ride the Lightning because there's one ballad. So I don't know. I think that's a bit too strict, I guess, to dismiss an entire album because of one ballad. Master Puppets and Justice for All, I think they're thrash metal albums too. But definitely, um, Metallica were not fast all the time in their songs. And their playing was a little bit different from a lot of other thrash metal bands. I still consider it thrash metal. But it is true, I think Kill 'Em All is, compared to a lot of other thrash bands and thrash albums, it's not that fast. And there are some people who are not super big fans of everything on Kill 'Em All, including Mr. Tabasco himself. Thomas from the Merciful Metal channel. This is what he has to say.
Seek and Destroy fucking sucks. I hate that song. I fucking hate that song. There's your hot take. Seek and Destroy sucks. It's such a bad song. It's such a boring song. It's the worst song of this album. It's one of the worst songs of the early catalog. And I don't understand why it's such a fan classic. It's boring. It's slow. It's very, it just drags and drags and scanning the scene and spinning tonight, looking for you. So Seek and Destroy, shit song.
So there you go. So thanks to Thomas for this take. Thanks to Metal Mickey for his takes, and thanks to you for watching. I'll see you in the next Hot Takes and Unpopular Opinions video. Thanks for watching.
It's warm here. Oh God.